1st of February, Rabbi Furst, Mishna Berura.
All right. Good morning again. This is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here, Yeshiva Tzamanachi. Here in Shlem Zoom. We are now in our second share in the morning. Mishna Berura Hilchos Torah, Simin Kuf Mem Gimel and Orach Chaim. We're presently in the middle of the Mishna Berura's explaining many different cases about various different mistakes and situations that can occur during the Kriyas of Torah and what the appropriate actions are taken in those cases. We're again in Sif Dalet, in the Mishnah and Mishna Berura. If I'm not mistaken, we left off where the in Sif Katan Chaf Hey, but where you could reference it in your Mishna Berura, I believe we left off by the notation of Lamed Hey for the Sharat Sion, the Sharat Sion notation Lamed Hey. If I'm not mistaken, that's where we left off. Let's just see, we all have that spot. So again, we're in the middle of Sif Katan Chaf Hey. Well into it, we're about maybe 2/3 into it, where you'll see the notation Lamed Hey for Sif Katan, Lamed Hey of the Sharat Sion.
Imadvekas?
Yes.
Okay.
Lou, do you have it there? Mary, do you have it as well?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. So I guess Mary or Eliezer Tzvi, whoever would like to start reading can begin.
Go for it, Mayor.
1 second.
We can't hear you, Mayor.
Well, I'm not saying anything yet.
Now I can hear you.
There you go. That's a good one.
I have a habit of talking to myself. I used to do that a lot when I jogged because
Do you
I
get good
could
answers?
I think that way.
Do you get good answers?
Sometimes.
Yeah, the best answers are you get it from yourself sometimes.
You know, at 4 a.m. when you're out there by yourself and only with Hashem, you never know what to expect.
Very good.
Okay. So it says, let's see, Ve'im adveikut hu b'tchilat ketivat ha'ot o be'emtza. So what's that? If there's a connection?
Right, the vacuum. I mean, we're talking about that there's something, again, all the letters of each word have to be completely separate from the other one, each and every one, right? Each letter has to stand completely on its own without being connected to any other letter. So now we're talking about the mistakes that could be found out in the Sefer Torah, that if these, there were some type of connections between different letters for some reason in the Sefer Torah.
Right. Let's see. So if there's a connection, hub tchila, what at first, ketiva, ha'ot, first what? The writing of the letter?
I guess at the beginning, but the chilas kasiba, so it's at the beginning of the writing of the letter. And so or in the middle of the writing of the letter.
Yeah, Mimakom adibuk ulaha'an niftav b'paso. Okay, so let's see. From that place, and further, which is written, is puzzle. Okay, so once they find an error, the rest of the Torah is considered puzzle.
Right. If the Devakus has been in the beginning of the letter, of the writing of the letter, or in the middle of the writing of the letter, from that place where the connection occurred and onward, that anything that's written after that is puzzle. right?
Makes sense to me. Okay. Yesh lahotzi acheret af delo nishtana tzurat haot ayidei zeh.
So you still have to take out a new Sefer Torah, even though that the the form of the letter is not changed through the connection it has to something else. Still, it's connected, and you can still nevertheless read and see the letter as it should be, but since it's connected with something else, that puzzles the Sefer Torah, and you have to take out another Sefer Torah and start reading from that.
Oh. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Lamed Vav. The Yesh Mekilin she'ein tzarich lahotzi acheret af be'ofen zeh. Or you can be lenient that
Right,
one needs
exactly.
not take out another Torah. Even in this case, be'ofen zeh.
Even in this case, right, there are those opinions. Meaning the mainstream opinion is that you have to, it puzzles it, and you have to take out a new Sefer Torah. But there are lenient in this particular case, and you don't have to take out a new Sefer Torah even in this particular case. Why?
Okay. Kevan shelo nishtana tzurat haot ayidei zeh. Let's see, that's brackets. The after okay.
Well, first of all, because it doesn't change the form of the actual host, the actual letter is not changed. You can read the letter itself. However, nevertheless, you can be makel in such a case because it doesn't change anything in terms of the actual formation of the letter. So there are those who are makel in that particular case. Now, in the parentheses, you have the following opinion. Let's read that.
It's funny. I was just commenting to my grandson yesterday, who was learning here, about he's learning English and how to write cursive. The script in English, where all the letters are connected. And I told him, it's funny, in Hebrew, we don't connect any letters.
That's right.
Okay, so the
standard, we don't do that, right? Exactly.
That's true. Okay, so in brackets, v'af the mekom makom sarik gerira kaimalan.
Yeah, meaning even in the case where you could possibly be mako, right? But you have to separate the letters. Greer, you have to scrape off the connection between the two letters that are connected. Right? You can't leave it that way, and you'll be mako not to take out a new Sefer Torah, but yet you're going to have to correct it. And now that's dependent. First of all, on Shabbos, as we learned previously, you can't do that on Shabbos. It also depends if you have someone who's qualified and capable of doing it, and if he has all his tools there that he can do it on the spot. So that's the question for what if it comes up. And I've noticed you probably have been witness to this yourself. All of a sudden, in the middle of the Kriya, everything stops, and you start looking, and everyone's peering into the Sefer Torah, because most likely the things that I've noticed occurring most commonly are these cases where it's davuk. There's something got in between the two letters, and it seemingly they appear to be connected. So you have to scratch away, or you have to scrape away that connection. So again, in the parentheses, even though that you need, in fact, to scrape it away, kaimon, we paskin, the law is decided with this particular law. What's this law up here?
Okay, so it says Kol ra'oi levila ein bila me'akevet bo. V'dino ke'ilu kevar nigrar.
Right, since the basic principle by which we put into effect over here is kol aroi lebila ein bila ma'akeves bo. This is a concept which is learned out from the Menachos offerings that's, in the base of Mikdash, that you need to have a blila. A blila is the mixing of the flour and the oil for the minchas, the Menachos offerings, and it has to be done with a certain percentage of oil, certain percentages of flour, and it has to be done in the proper vessel to mix them properly, right? So there's a certain amount of, say, 60 measures of flour that could properly be mixed in a vessel of a certain size. And if that proper amount is in that proper vessel, then if it's not mixed up, we say the fact that it's not mixed up doesn't really change the validity of the Menachos offering. But if it can't be mixed up, let's say there's too much that could possibly be put into the vessel and it would like overflow, it would spill, it wouldn't mix properly. So then it's not valid. So we learned from this, and it's applicable in many other different cases, something which could be done and it would be okay if it's done that way, then the actual doing of it doesn't necessarily, in many cases, change the fact that you could be yotzi with it even without doing it. I'll use an extreme example, which is the opposite. Meaning you don't say it. You don't say this. Let's say you had a community and there was no Erev. There's no Erev, right? So since there's no Erev, you can't carry outside on Shabbos, correct? So we'll take the extreme example. Well, look, since I could put up an Erev, right? To carry outside, even though I don't have an Erev. So in that case, we don't say that. Right? But in other cases, we do say it. We say, well, in the case of the mincha offering, even though could mix it, and it would be mixed properly. So the fact that I could mix it and I didn't mix it, it's not going to stop me from making it as a proper offer. So you have to know when the rule applies. So here we're saying also, since I couldn't scrape it away, the connection between the two letters, and it would be kosher again. So we consider it to be as if it's already scraped away, and the Sefer Torah is kosher right now. But that's how the Mishnah Berura is explaining it. Since in fact you could scrape it away, but it's not scraped away actually now. But that doesn't stop you, since it could be scraped away if you're on this mistake on Shabbos, and you can't do it on Shabbos. Nevertheless, we'll say since it could be done, say on the weekdays, it will still be considered to be kosher on Shabbos. Very big finish. Let's take a look again. Go ahead, man.
So, but you can't delay the reading by doing this.
Well, the belila, this is the law. This is the belila is the mixing of the flour and the oil for the offering on the base of mikveh. Okay. So that's the general. That's what the name of the general principle is. Kol roy belila, ain belila ma'akeves. Anything that could be properly mixed, the fact that you're not mixing it's not going to prevent you from giving the offering.
So it's the same as
Right. So
as
since,
this erasing, I guess.
right. So since you could in fact erase it, so it's considered as if it's already erased already. It's a very big chiddush. It's a very imaginative halacha, but it is applied. It is applied in certain cases. Okay, let's continue.
Okay. Filu b'Shabbat she'i efshar ligror mikoach isur Shabbat. So on Shabbat, it's not possible to do this because it would be an Isser on Shabbos.
Right? You can't erase things on Shabbos, right? So even though that you can't, it will apply this rule even on Shabbos, even though it's forbidden to do on Shabbos. Very big thing.
Wow. Okay. Mikom Makom kevan she'no mechamat asefer ela isur Shabbat revi'ah alei ein sarich lahotzi acheret.
All right. So what the Mishnah Berurah is saying here is there's why can you continue reading with this Sefer Torah even though you're not scraping it away, erasing it, because it's also to scrape away on Shabbos? Because as the Mishnah Berurah says here, that it's not the Sefer Torah. There's not in essence a problem with the Sefer Torah. It's only that there's an Isser Shabbos that's literally riding on the Sefer Torah. The Shabbos, Hilchas Shabbos is saying you cannot correct this Sefer Torah, right? So it's Shabbos is what is really puzzling the Sefer Torah, because if it was on the weekday, you would take out your tools and you would scrape away the connection between the two letters, and you would have rendered the Sefer Torah kosher again. So really, you have the ability to makshir this Sefer Torah, right? But since there's an Issur Shabbos riding on it, right? We say that the Sefer Torah is really in essence kosher. It's just that Shabbos is preventing you from makshering the Sefer Torah, and therefore you can continue reading with it. Very big chiddush.
Reading, wow. Okay. Very good. Okay. Uvi shat chadchak she'ein sham acheret v'tzarich shehu lehavi mimakom acher sefer Torah k'sheira.
So since, as we just said, you have this principle which we could apply over here, so therefore, in the case of Shas Techak, it's an emergency situation, and you have no other Sefer Torah immediately available to you, and you'd have to bring a Sefer Torah from another place. Yesh lismoch.
Yesh lismoch al zeh ligmor kriya b'sefer Torah zo. Ah.
So in this case, where you'd have to get another Sefer Torah from another place, you can go ahead, b'di'evid, and finish the Kriya with this. Actually, it's a Puzzle Sefer Torah, and we've seen there are those Mekilim to read from a Puzzle Sefer Torah if need be.
Wow. Huh.
Very big chiddush.
Yeah. Okay. Im nataf shava alezeh ot Yein leel b'siman halamid bet veyor halacha ma shekatavti b'shem derech achayim. Yeah, okay.
If im natav is to drip, shava is wax. If wax dripped, al eza ois. If let's say wax dripped on an os, very common. It's not common by us now because we have electric lights. But in time when everything was done and they had candlelights, very, very common that a drop of wax could drop onto the Sefer Torah. And let's say it covered over a yud or a or a kuf, right? Dropped on the Sefer Torah. And now maybe you can see it, maybe you can't see it. Sometimes the wax will be opaque, right? So that whole question is about what to do with the Sefer Torah that had wax dropped onto it, and now you are deciding to whether or not what to do with it. You have to take a look there. Ayin El above in the Siman Lamed base. That's in Hilchos Tefillin, but Ber Halacha Masha Kasavti Sham Derech Echad. So the answer to that question, what to do with the wax, is waiting for you in Siman Lamed base in Ber Halacha.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see. V'ayin da'at sharei Ephraim b'zeh b'sha'ar hey o Zion.
You take a look there, and he also discusses the Shaila, the Shaya Ephraim.
Oh, of hey and Zion. Oh, okay.
Od Harvey, go ahead.
Okay. V'yesh od harbe ofanim shetzarich lahotzi sefer Torah acheret al yadam ach katra hayriya me hachilam Yimtzaim hame'ayin b'pri megadim u'v'sefer sharei Ephraim b'sha'ar hey vav u'v'derech hayim ach nikot hay klala biyadcha.
I mean, he says here there are many other cases where you're going to have to take out another Sefer Torah. Mr. said, I just brought a short sampling of those from the various different halakhic sources, Imsim in the Prima Gadin and the Sefer Shari Ephraim and the Derech Chaim. However, in summation, Naked High Kalala Biyad could take this basic principle into your hands, meaning the basic principle to apply is as follows.
Okay, let's see. Okay. Kol makom shehuz kar b'hilchot sefer Torah shehu pasul vadai yesh lotzi acheret.
So any time it says in the Hilchos Sefer Torah that it's pasul vadai, then you have to take out another Sefer Torah.
Sefer Torah. Okay. V'davar shehu mechalochet haposkim. Yesh lahakel le'inyan kriyat haTorah shelo lahotzi acheret me'achar deyesh ketzat poskim hamekilin likrot b'sefer Torah pesula.
Anytime you have a dispute amongst the poskim, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can be lenient in terms of the Kriyas Torah that you don't have to take out another Sefer Torah.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Very good.
Yeah,
Well, it looks like we reached time.
Right, Ma'acher just finished. We'll finish it up. Ma'acher she's tzatz poskim umekilim lekros Sefer Torah pesula. Since you can rely on those few poskim that are lenient to read from a Sefer Torah, which is pasul. Okay, very good. So we left off very good. We finished Sivkat and Kav Hey, and we'll start tomorrow with Shemi's Borach, Sivkat and Kav Vav. Great.
Good.
Okay, thank you,
Very
Mayor.
good.
Good.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone should have a good day, and hope to see you all tomorrow.
All right, very good.
Very
Good
good.
day, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye now.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too, Lou.